Well, they're at it again, so let's talk about the new research on melatonin. I'm on the American Heart Association website right now, and here's the study they're all talking about. Long-term use of melatonin supplements to support sleep may have negative health effects. 130,000 people with insomnia were essentially split into two groups. There was the group who had taken melatonin supplements for at least a year, and then the other group had not. They followed these people for 5 years, and this is what's got everyone's attention. Among the people who had used melatonin supplements for at least 1 year, the incidence of new heart failure diagnosis was 4.6% versus only 2.7% in those people who had never taken melatonin supplements. So that's almost a 90% increase in heart failure among those people taking melatonin. Furthermore, those people who were taking melatonin supplements had about a 19% increase of heart failure-related hospitalizations compared to only about 6.6% in those who were not taking melatonin supplements. That's basically 3.5 times greater likelihood of being hospitalized if you take melatonin. And here's the worst part. After 5 years, almost 8% of those people who took melatonin were no longer with us, compared to only 4.3% in those who had never taken melatonin, apparently showing that melatonin supplements appeared to double the risk of no longer being alive. And I know what you're thinking, how much is too much? Well, there's a limitation of the study because they didn't identify a dosage of melatonin which actually might put people over the edge. So is it 1 milligram, 3 milligrams, 10 milligrams? We just don't know. Something else, this research is actually based on a study that was presented at a scientific conference. In other words, it doesn't appear to have gone through the peer review process yet. That's problem number one. And even if it does make it through the peer review process, it only shows an association, which may or may not mean that melatonin supplements are bad for your health. At the end of the day, this study is interesting, but we really need a better study to get a better idea of what's happening.